Croeso i'r gyfres drach cyfrinachol gyda fi, Mr Wall. Welcome to the Top Secret Series. Nawr, ein gynhadaeth ni heddi ydy Uned Cymraeg ail iaith Cwestiwn 4. Our mission today is Unit 1 of the Welsh Second Language, Cwestiwn 4. Y tasg felly ydy ysgrifennu yn ôl lluniau. The task is writing from pictures. Nawr eto, dwi'n mynd i rhannu hwn yn ddwy rhan. I'm going to split this up into two sections. Felly, rhan gyntaf ydy cliwiau neu clues. Felly, i ddechrau, mae 5 llun. There are 5 pictures. Ysgrifennwch 2 brawddeg i bob llun. Write 3 sentences for each picture. Felly, gyda 2 brawddeg a 5 llun, bydd 15 brawddeg gyda chi. You'll end up with 15 sentences in total. Defnyddiwch yr holl luniau am gliwiau. Use the whole of the picture for clues. Titleau, amseroedd, y cefndir, geiriau ac yn y blaen. Any titles, any times, the background and any words included in the picture, use them all for cliwiau. Also, try to include topic for most of the pictures, but try and get topic across the whole of the actual task itself. And topic stands for tenses, reasons, opinions, idioms, which are actually discourse markers. They are not called idioms, but to make it sense, we've called them idioms by here, conjunctions, and the conditional tense. So let's split those 6 up then and look at them in a bit more detail. Yr un cyntaf ydy tenses. The tenses part of the topic. We have the present, the past, the imperfect, and the future. Now, you will not be writing in the T or the he version, so I've not included them in here. You're normally going to be writing with the first person, so this section here. You're going to be writing with this first person, so mainly all of these, okay? So we've got dwi'n, mae hi'n, mae ein, dyn ni'n, mae nhw'n. Those are the present tenses that you're going to be using. The past tenses that go along with them, you've got es I, aeth, aithi, aethe, aethon ni, ac aethon nhw. That's the past tense. The imperfect then, roeddwn ni'n, roedd hi'n, roedd ein, roedden ni'n, roedden nhw'n. That's the imperfect. And the future tense then, byddai'n, bydd hi'n, bydd ein, byddwn ni'n, byddan nhw'n. Felly, yn Saesneg, these correspond to I, she, he, we, and they. So this is all about saying I am, I was, I went, I was, and I will be or I shall be. So again, for these tenses, these are the main ones you're going to be using. Revise them. I rai ohonoch chi sy yn fy nosbarth, for those of you that are in my class, then I have yr amseroedd I gyd ar y waliau blaen on the front of the class, okay? The next bit then, the R part then is the reasons. Now for these, you're going to be using the achos maen, roedden, and byddwn. So whenever you're going to be given a present tense doing something, then you're going to be followed on with achos maen. If you're going to use the past or the imperfect, so the es and the roeddwn ni, you'd be using roedd yn. For the future, then you're just going to say bydd yn. Now, I've included reasons as a Quizlet by here with adjectives. So you're going to say, with a picture of a person eating ice cream, you could say something like, dwi'n hoffi bwyta hufen iâ, achos mae'n flases. In the past tense, bwytais I hufen iâ, achos roedd yn flases. In the future, byddai'n bwyta hufen iâ, achos bydd yn flases. So, if you're going to use the present, then it's going to be followed an achos maen with an adjective. The past or the imperfect, roedden, with an adjective. And the future, byddwn, with an adjective. Now, this Quizlet is optional. There are a lot of adjectives that I've included in it, but any adjectives that you know of, such as bendigedig, da, gwych, great, cyffroes, or even any negative ones, Instead of relearning things and getting yourself stressed, then just use those. Felly, the opinions then. Now, I've included these in a Quizlet, and the Quizlet, when you open it, will look like this. Now, any of the opinion reasons, such as dwi'n hoffi, dwi ddim yn hoffi, dwi'n mwynhau, dwi ddim yn mwynhau, dwi'n caru, dwi'n dwlu ar, dwi'n casau, any of those in the first or even the third person singular, he or she, you can use any of those. You could even use fy hoff something, ydy something, or negatively, fy nghas something, ydy something. So you've got my favourite and my least favourite something is, okay? So any of these can be used with any of the tenses and with the pronouns that we just looked at a few slides ago. Nesaf, dyn ni'n dod ymlaen I farciau disgwrs, neu the idioms. Now, I've kept it as idioms because it fits in nicely with the topic, but what these are, what you will know them as, are idioms, but what they're actually called is discourse markers. Idioms are things like in English, it's raining cats and dogs, which we don't use in second language much for the GCSE papers. So what you're actually learning is something called discourse markers. Now, discourse markers normally make sense at the very beginning or at the very end of a sentence. If they're at the beginning, you're going to follow it with a comma, just like this. You're going to follow all of these with a comma. Obviously, if they're at the end, then you're going to follow them all with a full stop. So let's go through these really quickly just in Welsh. A dweud y gwir, fel arfer, ar hyn o bryd, heb os nac oni bai, ar y cyfan, siŵr fod, trwy'r amser, wedi dweud hynny, diolch byth. Yn wir, yn anffodus, o dro I dro, beth bynnag, ar un llaw, ar y llaw arall, a bod yn honest, of course. Now, if you're going to start those, if you're going to use those, then they're going to make sense, like I said, at the very beginning with a comma, or at the very end with a full stop. Nesaf, dyn ni'n dod at y cyntaf, sef conjunctions, neu gysyllt eiriau yn Gymraeg. Conjunctions. You can even throw in a few compound words, but first of all, let's look at the conjunctions, or the connecting words, or the linking words, or the geiriau bach. They all mean the same thing. Nice and simple ones. Ac or a. You use ac before a vowel, A-E-I-O-U, W-Y-H. In Welsh, we got three extra, a couple extra. So a, neu ac, and. Hefyd, also. Gyda, with, or you might even hear efo in North Wales. They both mean with, so gyda, efo. Though. Achos, or a nicer, posher word for achos is oherwydd, both meaning because. Ond, but. Tra, or the word wrth, so tra, wrth, means whilst or while doing. If you want to make your language a bit more fluent, then you can add in the compound words. Compound words are basically two words, which is two standalone words. When stuck together, they make sense, such as however, put them both together, you have however. Now, those are English compound words. What I've done here is I've given you some Welsh translated compound words from English. Compound words in Welsh work a little bit differently, but you get the picture. So we have compound words such as serch hynny. Having said that, could be one translation. Ymhellach, furthermore. Hynny, be that as it may. Weithiau, sometimes, yn ogystal. In addition. So the C, add in conjunctions and compound words if you can. I rai ohonoch chi sy yn fy nosbarth Cymraeg I, for those of you who are in my Welsh class, then you will find that the cysylltion syml, or the simple connectives, the simple conjunctions are at the front of the wall, at the front of the classroom, and also the geiriau cyfansawdd, the compound words, so the pink words and the green words. Nesaf, mae gyda ni'r olaf, the conditional tense. So far you've had the normal tenses, which is the past, the present, the future, and the imperfect. Now we're going to add in the conditional. Now the conditional is really easy. You're going to normally use it with hoffwn or hoffi. Hoffi plus conditional, I would like. Hoffwn I, hoffai e, or hoffai hi, hoffen ni, hoffen nhw. So that's all a statement. The question is you just stick a question mark on the end of the statement. The negative is you just put a them after the pronoun. So hoffwn I becomes hoffwn I them. Hoffai e them. Hoffen ni them. Hoffen nhw them. Really quickly then, to make any verb in Welsh into the conditional, you would just follow a few steps. First of all, you would write out the words. So let's just say eat, which is bwyta, B-W-Y-T-A. That's the verb in and of itself. What you do is you would take off the last vowel, which is in this case the A. So we're left with bwyt, and then what you would do is you would add on the uni for yourself. So we're left with bwytwn i. Bwytwn i, I would eat. Let's have a look at another example. Yfed, to drink. Now in this case, you would take off the ed. Eggs and eds will roll. So yfed, rhedeg, you would take off the ed, the eg. So you're left with of. So to say she would eat, you would add on the I, he. So we have of, I, he. She would eat. Bwytwn i with the uni, I would eat. Of I he with the I he, she would drink. Now, like I said, you can do that with any Welsh verb. You take off the last bit, normally a vowel, or an ed, or an eg, or y-double-l. Ask your teacher to clarify this further if you need more clarification, and add the uni for yourself, I a for a man, or I he for a woman, any for us or we, or enw for they or them. Now this is an example from 2014, and this is obviously question 4, and this is all about gerddoriaeth bop, or pop music. So you follow the pictures. You start with this picture first, then you move on, you move on, you move on, and you move on. There's clues, there's the day and the time behind, there's a title, wake stock, there's speech bubbles, again speech bubbles, all of these are giving you clues. There's another time by here, we got AM, we've got speech bubbles again, we've got somebody holding something. Use all of this to help you. Now practice writing about gerddoriaeth pop. Write 3 sentences for each of the 5, which means you're going to be left with roughly 15 sentences. This example is from 2013, and it is all about gwyliau, or holidays. So again, you look around, you look for clues. You start with the first picture. Here's a clue. You've got the day. You move down. You've got something by here. You've got the day, a speech bubble. You've got a day and a time. Something's happening by here. Look at what's happening. It's bwrw glaw. Bike wedi torri. Move down. You've got a day. Rhy fawr. It's too big. So look at what's going on here. An olaf. Dydd iau. What's this person saying? Now you've got dydd Sul, llun, Mawrth, Mercher, iau. You need to be following the order. So from top to bottom, left to right. Now this is an example from 2012, and it is all about pen-blwydd or birthday, so celebrations. Specifically, if we're looking at the pictures to start with, it's a celebration which starts in Bowlio Day. What's this person doing? What's this girl holding? Okay, so again, you look for the clues. You've got a day and a time. You've got a day and a time. You've got a time. You've got a time. You've got a day and a time. By here, again, back up one, you've got gorffen 1 o'r gloch, finishing at 1 o'clock. So you're going to need to looking at all of these clues. What is this person saying? Where are they waiting to? What's behind them? What's she holding? What's he doing? I don't know what he's doing, but what are they doing? What's this person doing? He's reading Bora Seal, 10:30 on Sunday morning. So looking for titles, looking for clues, looking for times, looking for dates. All of these are going to help you. OK, ti ac yn olaf, cyngor cyffredinol, general advice. Mae'r dasgu gyd yn werth 20 mark. It's all worth as one piece, 20 marks. 10 mark am y cynnwys, the content, so actually what you write. A 10 mark am y mynegiant, the mynegi, the expression. So 10 marks for what you actually write, and 10 marks for how it's expressed, how it's written. Again, your spelling, your punctuation, your grammar, and how well it's written. Tarbrawddeg I bob llun. 3 sentences for each picture. If you manage to get 3 sentences from one picture, you could get more, you could get 4, you could get 5. Don't bother writing them. If the examiner agrees with you, and you need to make sure that what you're writing is explicit enough, then he or she can give you the 3 marks. There's no point writing 4, 5, 6, 7 sentences on one picture because they won't mark it. So just find 3 sentences to go with the picture. Paragraphing. If you want to have 5 paragraphs, so 1 per picture, you can. Stim angen cyflwyniad na diweddglo. You don't need an introduction nor a conclusion. So you don't need to start off with bore da, Jack ydw I, dwi'n 15 oed ac dwi'n mynd I ysgol Bryn Mawr. You don't need any of that. You just need to start on the first picture. Felly dyma oedd y gyfres dra chyfrinachol. This has been the Top Secret series gyda fi, Mr Wall, ac ein cynhadaeth ni heddi oedd Uned 1 Cymraeg ail iaith Cwestiwn 4. Our mission today has been Uned 1 of the Welsh Second Language Question 4. Use these tips across the whole of the questions, across the whole of this series, and you should do pretty well. Remember to revise, remember to use the Quizlets, ask your teacher any questions at all before the day. So, felly, pob luck.